The administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already in the process of trying to auction the houses, the 753 unit estates, started by Emefiele, from ill-gotten wealth, money stolen from the government. Emefiele is not ready to give up. He's still dragging the case in court, insisting that he wants back, those units of estates. Before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button down below. Give this video a massive thumbs up as well. That way we're encouraged to keep giving you more reliable and authentic news. Lastly, please leave your opinions in the comment section below. Few days after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hurriedly directed the Minister of Housing, Ahmed Dangiwa, to sell forfeited 753-unit housing estate developed by former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele from alleged proceeds of crime. Emefiele has filed an appeal challenging a court ruling that handed the federal government full ownership of the 753-unit housing estate in local Goma, Abuja. Newsroom Nigeria recalls that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, had earlier secured a court order for the forfeiture of the estate, initially linked to an unnamed ex-government official, which later turned out to be Emefiele. Prior to the latest tweets by Emefiele, the minister had on Monday, May 26, at the inauguration of a board of a Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, in Abuja, revealed that the housing were handed over to the Ministry of Housing under the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the ministry has since taken full possession of the properties. Dangiwa stated that the next step was to conduct a thorough integrity test on the buildings to assess their structural soundness, alongside an evaluation of the estate infrastructure and auxiliary facilities. We want to take the houses to a particular level of semi-finished before we disburse them to the Nigerian public, he said. However, Emefiele, through his lawyer, A.M. Kotoye, argued that he holds an interest in the property and was wrongfully excluded from the proceedings. He said, and I quote, "I was unaware of a forfeiture," Emefiele stated, insisting that the EFCC published the interim forfeiture notice in an obscure part of a newspaper, making it difficult for him to dictate. He also cited his involvement in 3 separate criminal trials in Abuja and Lagos as a reason for missing the notice. Emefiele further accused the EFCC of intentionally hiding the case from him, despite their ongoing legal interactions on other charges. The trial court, however, ruled that EFCC had followed due process and that the newspaper publication was adequate. The judge stated that the notice could not reasonably be described as hidden. Dissatisfied with the verdict, Emefiele approached the Court of Appeal on April 30, 2025. He is asking the appellant court to overturn the judgment delivered on April 28, 2025, nullify the interim and final forfeiture orders made on November 1 and December 2nd, 2024, and uphold his application filed earlier on January 28, 2025. He maintained that the trial court failed to properly evaluate the evidence before it, arguing that the forfeiture orders were based on hearsay, suspicion, and no proper evidence. Emefiele also insisted that he had both legal and equitable interest in the estate, contrary to the court's claim that he presented no proof of ownership. Calling the ruling a miscarriage of justice, he said, "The failure of a trial judge to properly evaluate the affidavits and documents before him is perverse and has caused a miscarriage of justice. The orders were made in breach of the 1999 Constitution and are therefore null and void." In a related move, Emefiele's legal team had written to the Minister of Housing, urging the government to suspend all plans to sell the estate until the appeal is resolved. "We are aware that properties may soon be sold to the public. We have already served the EFCC with a notice of appeal and an injunction," the letter reads. The federal government had recently announced plans to auction the estate to low and middle income earners. What are your thoughts and your opinions? Let's have them in the comment section below. Do you think that Godwin Emefiele could get back, this property? I, for one, I do not think so. The chances are really so slim. We know that Nigeria is the way it is. Emefiele is on APC side. Then we would say that, oh, it's Nigeria. This would not go anywhere. But knowing fully well that both Emefiele and Tinubu is like opposite of each other, So we know very much that, apart from the fact that, this is a crime that was committed by Emefiele, using government funds, to build all of these houses. There's no way you can defend the fact that he built these houses, 753 units of estates, unit of houses, should we say, in an estate. There's no way he can defend that he built, these houses with his money. There is no damn way. There is no damn way. In how many years? Is it 4 years? Did he even spend up to 4 years as a CBN governor? There's no way he can defend that. So apart from the fact that this is a crime, he must be punished for it. Like I said, if it were, somebody who is in parley with, the powers that be, who would say, oh, this is not going anywhere. But knowing fully well that both Emefiele and Tinubu, they do not agree, which means that somehow, some way, I'm also seeing this as a vendetta because Tinubu, on the other hand, wants his pound of flesh. You guys remember what happened with the whole, changing currency because of Tinubu, because they do not want people to sell their votes. They do not want APC to be able to buy votes successfully in order to win election. That was why they said they want to change the currency within a space of, was it 3 months? Was it even up to three months that they said they wanted to change, the Nigerian currency? The stress that Nigerians went through those times. The people that died. I remember a woman who was trying to give birth, and because there was no cash, she could not present cash at the hospital. The hospital let her die. You can imagine, she died at the entrance of the hospital. A lot of stress that, people went through during that time. And Baba Tinubu he has to take back his own pound of flesh. He has a vendetta, to fulfill. So which is why I think that, this case, they are going to pursue it to the last. And there's no way Emefiele can win. There's no way he can prove that he got this property from his salary. So his lawyers are just trying their best, collecting money from Emefiele. They will tell him that we have a chance. Don't worry, there's a chance. But there is no proof. He cannot prove anything. Anyway, before we go, guys, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Obi Chioma says, is Emefiele saying that truly he owns the 753 buildings? That's what they are trying to say, but there is no way in hell they can prove it. What has happened to shame and conscience? How did he, as a public officer, make the money to own such an asset? On a moral basis, what does he and even several generations after him need those buildings for? Most of these people stealing government money, they are not only stealing for themselves. They are stealing for their unborn children, the generation to come. They want to leave money for them. That's the level of greed that they are at right now. That's the level of greed. Like I said, there is no way he can prove it. There is no way he can prove that he got all those properties with his salary. No way. Let's have your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening and watching. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.